All right. So it's still hot. So I still got to put on a shirt. only when I'm recording. All right. So I'm watching a video. It's called Project 2029: How the Democrats Plan to Win. Well, first of all, I still don't like. This is total aside. I still don't like how uh, Democrats and liberals have a big problem when it comes to not being able to name things good on their own. You know, it's like, come on, man, seriously. Project 2025 comes by and you're like, Project 2029. How about Project, Project, you know, I would call it Project Phoenix, you know. That's me. That's just me. Off 2 seconds of thinking. I would call it Project Phoenix or Resurrection, America Reborn, all of that. Resurrection, America Reborn. No date or anything like that. You can just know that it's going to happen because it's going to happen. You know? Liberals need to we need to get back to our roots where liberalism began in the Enlightenment, creativity, science. Not this, oh, they came up with something good, let's steal from them. No. We the OGs. All right? Let's do this. We are the creators. They're just thieves. Um, so, anyways, what I want, this is where I want to really start. And it kind of leads back into earlier today with the whole knee and the voting thing I was talking about earlier. I want to vote Democrat. I want to be a Democrat again, like I was. But I want the Democratic Party to be something. I want a Democratic Party in my lifetime to be a party that 80-90% of America and Americans want to extol loudly and proudly in the streets because they just like them and there is legitimate visible proof that the Democratic Party does exactly what they need, what they want, and it's putting out results. You know, like Malign in Ghostbusters, when I think Ray is talking to Peter, talking to Venkman. He's like, "You've never worked in the private sector. They expect results." It's like, yeah, the American public expects results. Republicans voted for Trump because Republicans wanted Republicans thought Trump was going to get results. He promised results. And the tide is starting to turn on Trump because not only is Trump not getting results, he is getting results. He's getting bad results in the opposite direction of what he ran on. Not for rich people, really. I mean, for rich people and really, really rich people and really, 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 really rich people, is actually getting pretty good results. But for most people, things are getting, people are being able to hold themselves. See, I'm doing pretty much the same, but that's because my expectations are like rock bottom, like like a used up quarry, dead, where everything has been sucked out of it. All the stone is done. Right at the bottom of there, and it's like, yep, that's okay, good. I'm good to go. You can look at what I got and be like, there we go. I don't got a family. I don't got a woman. I don't got nothing. I got what I need. So, I mean, man. But if I had a wife and even one kid, oh man, I would have a shotgun. And people would be scared of me. Because, damn, cops would be bleeding. I tell you that much. And I don't understand why all these Republican white folk are not out in the streets just strangling and choke slamming all the other Republican representatives and senators and whatnot that they voted for. That stuff hasn't gotten better. It's been a year and 4 months since the people they elected got in power, and they have just been cock gobbling Trump's pecker. And stuff's been getting worse and worse and worse for them, as far as everything I've heard. Like I said in yet a different video, I'm in Texas. The rest of the South, apparently hurricane season is, it's right around the bend. So, I mean, if I was a believer, I would be sending up them prayers. It's a good time to start. Because your states, those red, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, all of them stuffs, it's time to start praying that, we get another good year of big fat zero. And, even if we get none of those, we're probably going to get a lot of rain. Probably going to get a lot of Gulf Stream rain that, I don't know, just that alone. Or really hot weather. So it's going to be something that is going to make your life, my life, kind of meh. But, I'm okay with sitting here just wearing my glasses, as long as I'm not recording videos. But back to the Democratic Party, I want to see a Democratic Party that doesn't just sit on the sidelines and just be like, well, Republicans are going to crash and burn, and then we're going to win again by default. That attitude of winning by default Democrat Party is not the party that I want to actually cast a vote for. I will but that's not the party that I want to cast a vote for. The kind of laissez-faire Democratic Party is kind of a BS. The guy, the team just holding the ball while the clock runs out. It's kind of a BS victory. I don't want the team that actually makes shots, at least tries to take shots, even if you're not hitting the the 3-pointers. At least try to take a layup. Seriously, come on. Go for it once in a while. And then, because here's why also. Here's the big thing. Because if you're that party that just waits until you get power again, you're going to be the party that once you have power, you're not going to actually make any kind of change. If you're the party that actually grabs the reins and takes power, that's a party that's actually going to do something for me and people like me. And I'm on disability, so I don't really need anything, but there are other people on disability that are more disabled that programs would help, and there are other people that are not disabled that have families that the kind of things that I talk about would really, really help. And there are people that are Republicans that vote Republican and always vote Republican that once these programs that I talk about and a lot of other people talk about, once you get them into place, they would be like, well, I hate Democrats, but that's a good job and it pays good and it's a better job than I've ever had, so I guess I'll take that job. I mean, we're very prideful people, but Star Trek quote, an empty pride in an empty sack is worth an empty sack, right? So they'll take a good job, won't they? I mean, they will. So a Democratic Party that has power and has the vision and will to use power and to have the government and to shove the power of the federal government, the state government, and the city government, all three of those and more, right up against the accumulated power of corporations and individual multimillionaires and billionaires for the goodwill of the huddled and down on their luck masses. I think will be a good thing. It'll be a much better thing than a Democratic Party that just kind of sits on the sideline waiting to have their turn. Doing some bullcrap talking points and taking PAC money and just kind of winning by default. That's pathetic is what that is. just performing the flip-flop garbage just because people, the American public is dealing with a BS election system that essentially gives us no real choice, as Carlin said, the illusion of choice. And there are finally some individuals, not many and not enough, but some that are kind of breaking through. As Graham Taylor, or whatever like that Graham guy's name is, normal people. I like the idea of normal people running for office, running for positions of political power and authority. It's good. And there's also another. I don't know if it's a quote necessarily, but it's kind of like a point of philosophical thought that I heard somewhere. I don't know where, but it's the best thing that old people can do for young people is die. And it's kind of a pithy statement, basically saying, old people, the old generation will always hold on to things like positions of power as long as possible. They would hold on to it forever if they were able to live forever. They would keep on holding on to power and wealth if they could live forever. And it would be devastating. It would be disastrous for society, especially in the times that we're living in, because no kind of real progress would actually happen. And you can see that more in, say, the last 50 years, but especially the last 100, 200, 300 years. To put it on a longer timeline. That societies essentially needed the old men to die off for change to really move on and take place. You needed the older generation to die off, and in a larger sense, not just the older generation, but the generation after the older generation to die off in some cases. I also saw in another video that someone was saying, for millennials like me and my age and in between, maybe 5-10 years plus or minus, someone was saying Gen X and Gen Xers are kind of our allies because they kind of agree with us, and it's the baby boomers that are like, the baby boomers got like, and not all baby boomers obviously, but a lot of baby boomers ish are very cemented in the old ways. It's kind of Trump's age type people, the ones that are 70 years old plus or minus 10 years. So if you're like 62 to 82, that kind of age range is kind of holding things back. And those tend to be that age range of people more so than any age range of individual. Again, not everyone, but more so than any other age range, age category of individual, seem to be very not progressive and not willing to embrace any kind of functional concept of changing the society movement. They'll say, "Yes, um, I believe in helping everyone and all that good stuff." But when it comes down to actually doing it, like actually making and putting into action, putting into policy and making that policy actually happen, like with money, they're like, "No, we can't do that." It's like, we help people, we're good, we want to do this. And then it's like, okay, time to sign the check and dispatch the workers and the troops to, help the flood relief and stuff. They're like, yeah, we can't do it. It's like, well, then you're not the man for the job. It's like, we'd like to hold on to our money, but your money is just money. I mean, like, I mean, it's like they were born into abject poverty, and like, you're like, well, our money can buy bread. So it's like deep in the subconscious, unconscious, or something like that. But yeah, but I only have $10 million, so I can't really give you 3 pennies, because then I'll only have 9,900,000. It's like, I don't think so. But you're about to die, so. So, anyways, it's so hot doing this in this shirt. If I only looked sexier, then you know maybe I could pull off doing this without a shirt. But alas, I don't. Because then I could exercise while blabbing into the thing, and then I could be like, I'm doing exercises while I'm talking into there, and that could justify me being shirtless. But this is not beautiful, so we're not getting away with that. Oh, man. All right. Oh, and all the stuff you see in the background, by the way, is not available for sale, unfortunately. Sorry. It would be if, no, it wouldn't be. It's too valuable. If you want to buy any of that stuff you see in the background, you're going to have to pay me $20 billion. It's it's that close to my heart. especially that box over there. There, that's a very precious box. Very precious. All right. Excellent. All right. Tax rich, kneecap the rich, and I got wax in my ear. Tax work at 0.1% and tax wealth at a lot freaking higher than that. I don't know, but like 90% or something. I don't know. And boobs, people boobs.